Are we talking about math right now? A lot of people dread going into math class, but personally, I love doing math. I'm like 1 in 10, 1 in a million. I think it's really important to learn. But then again, there are some useless things we learn in math class that we're never gonna use in our daily lives, which is why I get why people think it's so boring. So let's take a look at the top 10 most pointless things we learned in math class. And in the comment section, tell me what is the one subject you just hate the most. So starting off this list, number 10 with matrix. A matrix is an array of numbers that are arranged in a rectangular group of rows and also columns. In math class, we are taught how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide matrices. I've literally never had to do this in my day-to-day life. There is really no practical reason to learn this unless you are involved with computer science. Next up, number 9, we have memorizing formulas or equations. Do you guys remember the quadratic formula, how to calculate the area of a circle or the volume of a sphere? Probably not, so why do you have to remember it? If you ever need to use those formulas or equations, we could just really quickly look them up in Google in seconds instead of trying to memorize just useless, just stuff that hurts our heads. Calculating its way, at number 8, we're talking about polynomials. They are mathematical expressions where a variable is combined with coefficients and exponents. They are used in high school for graphing, reducing, or factoring. Anyone with a career in science, economics, statistics, or engineering will know how to deal with polynomials, but for the regular people like us, we almost never have to deal with a polynomial. Moving on to number 7 with sin, cosine, and tangent. For those who don't remember, I'm kind of remembering my grade 12 or grade 11 days, but they're used in trigonometry and they're based on right angle triangle. However, can you recall using it on a daily basis? No, I don't think so. Math teachers also made us memorize their formulas, which was only useful to do on math tests. Next up, number 6 is trigonometry. This is a study in how the angles and lengths of a triangle relate to each other. So basically, this is useless information that you probably forget the second that you graduate from high school. If not, I know I did. Again, useless unless you're an engineer. I highly doubt that you've stumbled across trigonometry in just your everyday life. And now at number 5, we have geometric proofs. This is the art of comparing triangles to other triangles and drawing tangents to circles. Geometric proofs made us come to the conclusion for why two triangles were congruent, which means they're identical based on their properties. Yeah, I don't think I've ever used this in my entire life, or will I ever use this. Learning how to graph equations comes into this list at number 4. Why did we ever need to learn how to graph equations? Math teachers forces us to memorize what sin, cosine, tangent looks like on a graph. And when in the real world are you ever going to learn the slope of a line on a graph? Surely this is useful for if you're an architect, but for everyday people, this is just so useless. So why not teach us everyday stuff? Now at number 3 is calculating the median value. Why would you ever need to figure out what is the middle number in a sequence? I don't think there's ever been a time in my life when I was like, oh, I need to calculate what the middle number is. Okay, I owe this person $20, I owe this person $30, and then $15, and then, what is the middle number of my debts? It's too much debt is the answer. Okay, maybe I've used this for I was trying to find the middle seat of a movie theater. I want to know what the middle seat is, but there's no equations, there's no nothing, I just count and boom, that's the middle. Long division makes its way into this list of number 2. This is a calculation technique where one number is divided by another number using a pencil and paper and a tremendous amount of time. Long division was initially intended for those occasions when we needed to divide large numbers and we didn't have a calculator on hand. Technology, it just seems like technology is destroying math because it's just so simple now. Just use a damn computer. But that's obviously no longer the case. Alright, finally at number 1, and I'm just throwing this out there, everything on this list just sounds so familiar to me, but I kind of forget it all. But right now we're talking about logarithms. A logarithm answers the question of how many of one number do we multiply to get another number. Sounds a little bit confusing. For example, how many 2's do we multiply to get 8? The answer is 3. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. But unless you're an engineer or involved with complex computer science, you will almost never come across logarithms in the real world. So what did we learn from this video? Math class is just a waste. You guys should skip. You guys should go to class. You guys should never skip because this stuff's important to teachers and parents. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully I didn't waste too much of your time. I'll see you guys all in the next one.